just one battery, so it means it's Kunja Vihari.
Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Mahabhavi ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. could you give me a Srimad Bhagavatam?
This is what they hear live.
So if I do this one, then you hear this one.
No.
So we're reading from
But
Canto
there-
4,
Yeah, they hear much.
text chapter 19,
But this is for this.
text 3. 4. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, yeah. So just please repeat. Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam. Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam. Lokapalai Sahanugai. Lokapalai Sahanugai. Upagiyamano Gandharvair. Upagiyamano Gandharvair. Munibhischapsaroganai. Munibhischapsaroganai. Anvito Brahma Sarvabhyam. Lokapalai Sahanugai. Upagiyamano Gandharvai. Munibhischapsaroganai. What is this? Anvita, being accompanied. Brahma, by Lord Brahma. Sarvabhyam, and by Lord Shiva. Lokapalai, by the predominating chiefs of all different planets. Saha Anugai, along with their followers. Upagiyamana, being praised. Gandharvai, by the residents of Gandharvaloka. Munibi, by great sages. Cha, also. Apsaraganai, by the residents of Apsaraloka. Translation and purports by Srila Prabhupada. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharvaloka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsaraloka all praised him. And I read 2-3 more verses. Siddha Vidyadhara Daitya Dhanava Guyakadaya Sunandananda Pramukha Parshada Pravarahare. The Lord was accompanied by the residents of Siddhaloka and Vidyadharaloka, all the descendants of Diti, and the demons and the yakshas. He was also accompanied by his chief associates, headed by Sunanda and Nanda. Kapilo Narado Datto Yogesha Sanakadaya Tam Anviyur Bhagavata Yecha Tat Sevanotsuka. Great devotees who were always engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as well as the great sages named Kapila, Narada, and Dattatreya, and masters of mystic powers headed by Sanaka, Kumara, all attended the great sacrifice with Lord Vishnu. Yatra dharma duga bhumi sarvakama duga sati dogdisma bipsitan nartan yajamanasya bharata. My dear Vidura, in that great sacrifice, the entire land came to be like the milk-producing Kamadhenu, and thus by the performance of yajna, all daily necessities for life were supplied. Purport. In this verse, the word dharmadugdha is significant, for it indicates Kamadhenu. Kamadhenu is also known as Surabhi. Surabhi cows inhabit the spiritual world, and as stated in Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is engaged in tending these cows. Surabhi Rabhipalayantam. One can milk a Surabhi cow as often as one likes, and the cow will deliver as much milk as one requires. Milk, of course, is necessary for the production of so many milk products, especially clarified butter, which is required for the performance of great sacrifices. Unless we are prepared to perform the prescribed sacrifices, our supply of the necessities of life will be checked. Bhagavad Gita confirms that Lord Brahma created human society along with yajna, the performance of sacrifice. Yajna, the performance of sacrifice. Yajna means Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and sacrifice means working for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this age, however, it is very difficult to find qualified brahmanas who can perform sacrifices as prescribed in the Vedas. Therefore, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Yagyai Sankirtana Prayai, that by performing Sankirtan Yagya and by satisfying the Yagya Purusha, Lord Chaitanya, one can derive all the results derived by great sacrifices in the past. King Prithu and others derived all the necessities of life from the earthly planet by performing great sacrifices. Now this Sankirtan movement has already been started by the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. People should take advantage of this great sacrifice and join in the society's activities. Then there will be no scarcity. If Sankirtan Yagya is performed, there will be no difficulty, not even in industrial enterprises. Therefore, this system should be introduced in all spheres of life, social, political, industrial, commercial, etc. Then everything will run very peacefully and smoothly. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyanandjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Anvito Brahma Sharvabhyam Lokapalai Sahanugai Upagiyamano Gandharvair Munibhischapsaroganai. When Lord Vishnu appeared in the sacrificial arena, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the chief predominating personalities of every planet, as well as their followers, came with him. When he appeared on the scene, the residents of Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the residents of Apsara Loka all praised him. So Hare Krishna. So with your blessings, I can speak something which has value for all of us. So these were 4, 5, 6, 7 verses. How the Lord appeared in this great sacrifice performed by Prithu, King Prithu. So when the Lord Vishnu came, he did not only come with like his close devotees, or the devotees. No, even the demons came together with him. The Yakshasas, the demons and the Yakshas, they all came. The Supreme Lord is the Supreme Father of everyone. And so all are sons of the Lord. So they naturally want to be with him. Although we know that the demons, one sense, they want to kill Vishnu. But still, he's their father. So we see he is performing a sacrifice. And we see with this sacrifice, the whole land becomes so fertile. It was like everyone, everything is growing, and I can just imagine by this yagya the emperor is performing, how the whole world was flourishing because of this sacrifice. It says it came to be like the milk-producing kamadeno. You can just unlimitedly, you can just take and just producing. So fruits and all kinds of things, just unlimited. So everyone gets what they need. So yagya is very important to perform yagya. But these kinds of yagya, which this yagya which King Prithu performed cannot be done today. It's very difficult. You need, for example, you need 4 kinds of priests. You need one who can do the offerings. You need one who can chant the mantras. And you also need a priest who can ignite the fire without using any fire. And you need one priest to supervise everything. So everything has to be very... Such brahmanas you can't get nowadays. So therefore such sacrifices are not recommended. And now we are in Kali Yuga. So now the yagya is Yagyai Sankirtanai Prayai. And the Yagya Purusha, the Yaga Purusha is Lord Chaitanya. So this kind of yagya is the same. We attain the same result as King Prithu get from doing this enormous big sacrifice, sacrificing 100 horses. That was his project here. And Lord Vishnu himself appeared, comes down. So this Sankirtan yagya will also give us whatever we need. So therefore human beings has to learn to perform this Sankirtan yagya. Or else as we see the whole world is becoming more and more hellish. So So the devotees, those who want to be devotees, they become also almost like demons, because everyone is doing the activities which is going on. But if they come in contact with the Sankirtan movement and hear about from Srimad Bhagavatam, they will be attracted. So it's said there that how auspicious this Sankirtan is. It said, Etan nirvidyamananam ichyatam akuto bayam yoginam nripa nirnitam harer nama anukirtanam. That the constant chanting of the holy name is the doubtless and fearless path for success for all. Constant chanting of the holy name. So that's the successful way for everyone. If you have all material desires, if you have no material desires, or if you're just self-satisfied because you're full of transcendental knowledge, this is the path of success recommended there in the scriptures. Because ultimately, when we perform sacrifices, we are to attain transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge and remember the Lord. Ante Narayana Smritihi. That whatever we do, activities, if we can remember the Lord at the end of our life, then we have attained success. That's also stated there in the scriptures. But we see that often because we are very attached to being the enjoyer. Because a yajna means you do activities, but you do it for somebody else's pleasure. And not anyone, but actually the Lord. So we do activities for the pleasure of the Lord. That is a yajna. But we are accustomed to do activities for our own pleasure. So we want to act independently from the Lord. And this independent idea that we have, that we can be independent, this is the cause of all our problems in life. So therefore, when we practice Krishna consciousness and we want to purify, we engage in this process of purifying our heart, Cheto Darpana Marjana, and we cleanses the mirror of the heart, then we might sometimes not feel any taste. So this that we don't feel taste is just simply because that which is very sweet is just tasting bitter. Because Krishna consciousness is so sweet. If you want to please the society, so many you have to please. You have to please your brother, your sister, your parents, this, that, the whole society. So difficult, and sometimes you can even sacrifice your life in order to try to please them. Still, they will not be pleased. So to try to please persons around us which we are connected to. It's not possible. I remember on the street I met one lady, elderly lady, and she started crying because some people, they have this problem. They would have to please everyone, have to please everyone. They sacrifice themselves. I have to please my grandchildren, please their, and they feel like, what about me? I'm getting lost here. She cried, and she was like exhausted trying to please everyone. So they don't know the art of whom to really please. So to try to please everyone, you can totally burn yourself out. And many get burned out in our society. In school, they try to be a good character to please their parents, this, that, and they get burned out. They get what we call in Norway, it's called ME. It's called like a burnout, that you have no energy, like that. So, but to please the Lord, is that difficult? That's so easy. It's super easy. But it's so easy to please the Lord because there's a natural relationship between us and Him. It's a natural loving relationship. There's no fear. A child doesn't have fear for his father. It's a loving relationship. So it's a natural loving relationship. It's an intimate relationship between us and the Lord. There should be no difficulty at all to please the Lord. And there is not. But the process is very simple. You have to connect by hearing about Him, Shravanam Kirtanam, glorifying Him, hearing about Him. And we're all here because there is some taste. We are here because we want that intimate connection. But sometimes it's not sweet because we're sick. So if we have this, there's a disease called jaundice, which makes you see everything yellow. I never had that disease, but I heard about it. And if you have that disease where everything looks like yellow, there is one medicine for it, and that's sugar. But when you have this disease, jaundice, sugar tastes extremely bitter. It tastes very bitter, so it's not sweet at all, although it's actually very sweet. But you have to take that sugar, and then you get cured of this disease, jaundice, and you will taste again the sweetness of sugar. So we are sick like that. So we have to get purified by taking the right medicine, chanting the holy name. And every morning here we recite the offenses against the holy name, especially this inattentiveness. It's like feeding all the other offenses. So we should be very careful to be attentive when we chant, although the mind is wandering everywhere. But we are not the mind. We are the soul having an intimate relationship with the Lord. So that taste has to develop, and if we get a really eagerness for that intimate relationship with the Lord, really eagerness, then and with our heart and soul we get into it, striving for that relationship. Because Prabhupada was asked, there was one devotee. Prabhupada was on his way leaving a temple, and this devotee had like a question all the time. He never asked it. But then Prabhupada was getting closer to the car, driving him to the airport, I was like, I have this question. And then when Prabhupada he was sitting in the car, and the door was almost slamming. And then, Prabhupada, I have this question, And Prabhupada, yes. How can I become Krishna conscious? And Prabhupada said, by desire. Desire. What's that in German? Wünschen, begehren. By desire. So we have to cultivate this strong desire to be in intimate touch with the Lord. Then actually all our activities, whatever you do and whatever you say, will become faultless. It will become faultless. Because you're in intimate touch with the Supreme Lord, the transcendental reality, which is faultless, and then you also, we will also become, adopt that quality, a transcendental quality. So this is the safe path for everyone. So these attachments is like stumbling blocks in our spiritual life, and we have to learn to give them up. And we can experience. We can just look at others, how these attachments makes people suffer. And this is very nicely described in Srimad Bhagavatam, how all these attachments make us suffer. And we take shelter of the wrong things. Te apatya kalatradish atmasanyeshu satsu api tesham pramata nidanam pashanapi na pashati. So persons who don't have Atma Tattva, they don't have knowledge of the soul, they simply don't inquire into these problems of life. Why am I getting old? Why am I painting my fence? Now I'm like 65 years now. I'm painting my fence. I'm renovating now the new garage, and I'm working. I took an extra job just to keep up with my neighbor because he bought a Mercedes, so I need one too. They don't think. How this is a problem. That something is wrong. They don't think something is wrong here. But they're too attached. They're too attached, and they take shelter of their body. You know, everything is about the body, protecting the body, and they take shelter of their children, their wife. But they see it doesn't work. They see it doesn't work. They see that, I'm getting old, my wife can't help me, my children can't help me, they don't care about me really, they're just doing their own thing. So they have a lot of experience. They have a lot of experience. So they can see it, they have experience, but still they don't understand. So, because they're too attached. So this sense gratification process brings one into deep ignorance in material life. While the process of Harinam Sankirtan, pleasing the Lord, opens the door to liberation. So that door is opened by serving the pure devotee. And we see Srila Prabhupada is come and give his association to the whole world, so that one can associate with the pure devotee and serve him. Mahat sevam dvara mahur vimukte. So the door to liberation is open. And his Prabhupada is so kind. He sees how everyone is suffering because of attachment. And he gives the conditioned souls a chance to get out of this attachment by having his association. So Prabhupada's books is so unique. And now they are printed like in millions. And the new thing now I heard is that we can also use AI for translating books. But AI, artificial intelligence, doesn't understand rasa, because it's so that's a problem with AI. But then anyway, it can go quickly, like in our language, like in Norwegian. We got Bhagavad Gita translated 5 years ago. So first time we had Bhagavad Gita in Norwegian. And the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is nothing. Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is nothing. Nectar of Devotion, the Krishna book, no. We don't have. So maybe we can speed it up with the help of this artificial intelligence. All these activities, Sankirtan, it gives us life, and it increases the ocean of transcendental happiness. So this is the way to perform sacrifice in our time, and we can just throw ourselves into it with great enthusiasm. If you have all desires, akama sarvakama va mokshakama udaradi tivrena bhakti yogina yajeta purusham param. If you have all desires, no desires, or just desire peace, then we should just engage in enthusiastically in Harinam Sankirtan, and Lord Chaitanya will be pleased, and it's just we're on the path of success. So Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Maybe there are some comments, reflections, questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. One question about the quote of Srila Prabhupada when he said it's about desire to become Krishna conscious. If you could maybe elaborate a little bit, like your advice on strengthening the desire or purifying maybe the material desires, spiritualizing them. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
What comes to my mind is Ambarish Maharaj. It said about him that he engaged his desire by fulfilling the desires of the Lord. So we have to learn the art of finding pleasure in the pleasure of the Lord. So this is love. That you are happy when you see the Lord is happy. So how do we get to that point, that desire for I will be pleased to I want to see the Lord pleased? Yes. Purification. Chetodarpanamajanam. The whole process is described as bhajana kriya. We engage in bhajan, anartha nivritti, our heart becomes purified, free from these lower modes, and then comes nishta. We get strong faith, and then we get ruchi, taste. So the process is, and also it's very important to understand, actually to learn, to read the books. I find it very helpful to learn verses and study and memorize verses and think about them, their meaning like that. That also helps very much to channel our desire in the right direction. Because desire comes from. It comes from and like we want pleasure. We are always pleasure-seeking, living entities. That's why we exist. That's why because we are pleasure-seeking. So by hearing we have experience also. But if we are more intelligent, we just hear about the glories of devotional service, and hear about the Lord and gets attracted. Then the Lord cleanses from within our heart. So one can say about how do I develop that desire? How do I do it fast? Or for example, many brahmacharis, they have to go through marriage as a way to live out their desires. But some they can renounce this world because of having desire for spiritual pleasure. Brahma Saukyam Tvanantam. So Lord Rishabhadeva tells his sons to perform austerity, transcendental austerity, tapodivyam, and then come to that platform of enjoying Brahma Saukyam, tasting the pleasure of Krishna consciousness. But there is always a danger there of falling down and give in to material desires. There's always a danger. Because even Prahlad Maharaj, he prays to the Lord, and the Lord says, "Oh, what do you want? I give you anything." And he said, "Don't tempt me, don't tempt me. I'm from a demoniac background here. I can easily be trapped." I mean, just sometimes I think Haridas Thakur, he was born in a Muslim family. Okay, so it was a very fallen birth. So he chanted all day long because of his, you can say, like his background. What about us? Sometimes I think there's simply like no hope. I just feel like that. There's like, in one sense, there's like no hope. There's no possibility. We have this background. We have cultivated material desires much more than anyone. We don't really have strong taste. We can't focus the mind. So, in one sense, there is no hope. It's not possible. But still, we see it's possible. The Lord is protecting us. If we follow this process, So even if it feels like our life is just hanging in a thin red thread, still the Lord protects us when we engage in His service and take shelter of the Lord, of the devotees. And that's stated in the Shastra. I like to quote this verse. All these verses almost I quoted today we have examination today. So here's another one. Kirata hunandra pulinda pulkasha abira shumba yavana kashadaya yenyechaya papa yada pashrayashrayam shudyed Prabhu Vishnave Namah. That Kiratas, Hunas, Andras, Pulindas, Pulkashas, Abira, Shumba, Yavana, those from Kasa races, and others addicted to sinful activities can become purified by taking shelter of the Lord's devotees. Because the Lord is a supreme power. He's the supreme power. So it's stated there in the Shastra, so there is great hope that we can not give in to these habits of the past and become purified and become really attached to Krishna consciousness and be steady in the mode of goodness and also be happy. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu.
To this point, I sometimes think maybe we focus too much on getting rid our desires because we feel they are a hindrance in our path, and then we kind of condemn them and be frustrated because desires is a natural thing of the soul. We have desires, it's in the soul, but of course we have these material desires because these desires are contaminated of so much lifetime in this world. And then, as you mentioned, the brahmachari enters a Kriyasta ashram, and then he feels now, it's the opportunity for these desires, but in the same time we're so conditioned that we condemn these desires there as well, and then condemn this ashram, condemn the people who are with us in this ashram, let's say, our partners or whatever. And I see many times this devotees becoming very frustrated by just want to give up the desires. But when I look actually what Prabhupada gave us was like engaging desires and purify them. It's like when we're on the street, this was my original question, when we're on the street, sometimes people asking us, if everybody would just stop what they're doing and just chant Hare Krishna like you guys, would the world function? And this is a good question. Because, leave it as a question for you. What would be your answer, and what we maybe connect with the first topic?
Yes. This criticism that if everyone just chanted, we are not just chanting, we are doing many things also, even grihasthas, and you can be a devotee, you can do many things. Or I remember a sannyasi was criticizing just the same way, like if everyone became a sannyasi like you, what? How will the world go on? But it's not meant that everyone should be a sannyasi. In society, everything is needed. One could ask the same question just because that person who asked you is everyone is chanting Hare Krishna. Maybe what is his duty? Maybe he's a hairdresser. If everyone became a hairdresser, how will the world go on? You don't say everyone should be a hairdresser, but to chant Hare Krishna, that everyone can do. It's not a good argument. And if you criticize the sannyasis, everyone take their surround. No, there's some, but there is a need of sannyasis also. So some should do that. We need hairdressers. We don't need, but in society they need. In my city, there's so many hairdressers. So it's a need of everything. And to your question or to your comment about grihastas and
about desires.
Yeah, about desires.
Because isn't this what you just described? Isn't that, although we know we need all these different parts, but is there not a strong impetus in our preaching and also in our consciousness that sannyasi is the highest? That's the highest. That's the topmost. He has no desire. He is pure. He has everything. And we want to be all like that.
A sannyasi is a natural leader. But we know that Krishna says about desire, anashrita karma phalam, karyam karma karotiya. Anashrita, it doesn't take shelter in the fruits. Sa sannyasi, he's a sannyasi, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Anashrita karma phalam, he doesn't take shelter in the fruits of his work. That's a sannyasi, Krishna says. So what are we speaking about? The external sannyasi or the internal sannyasi? But often we see, of course, the external is a symptom that one is an internal sannyas, and then one can take sannyas also. That one is not attached to the fruits of one's labor. So that's the real sannyas. So this desire, it's often there that we are attached to the fruits of our work, and that's the whole message Krishna is giving to Arjuna. Don't be attached to the fruits, just do your duty, because it's your duty. And also do it for me.
But Arjuna said he wanted to take sannyas, and Krishna said, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because you
It
said
would be
sannyas is a
sinful.
leader. But I don't think a sannyas necessarily has to be a leader.
But he's on the fourth order of life, and he's naturally a leader, the sannyasi. One who is like a brahmachari, you have a brahmachari, but a grihasta who is also totally engaged in Krishna's service. He's a grihasta brahmachari. He's more than a brahmachari. It's like it's 100 brahmacharis on one such grihasta. And then you have vanaprastha who leaves family and goes strongly on the path of renunciation. There's like there's 100 such grihastas in one such vanaprastha. This is also from the scriptures. So these desires, the whole thing is to purify these desires, and the different ashrams is there to purify us. Maybe somebody else has some comments. Yes, Prabhu.
according to these desires, coming to my mind that we should cultivate our desire. Prabhupada very often uses cultivation of Krishna consciousness. It means we should work with this consciously. That if I have in my heart this kind of desire, what should I do with desire? Should I change this desire for Krishna consciousness desire, or completely forgot about this desire? Yeah, it means we should work with this with these desires. And cultivation is very interesting word. It means it's coming for agriculture. It means need different activities to attain different results according to time, circumstances, and so on. It means it's conscious work with these desires. Yeah. Some coming to my mind.
Yes. So you brought up that we start to like hate our or deny our desires, but the dilemma is there that we need to get this higher taste. That's what Krishna also explains there. That if you suppress your desires, you have these desires, but you don't engage in them, you're just a pretender. But then it says, on the other side, it says, a person who what does it say? Who practice, he's not suppressing his desires, but he's controlling his mind and senses and striving for like a higher taste. So that's the right way. So this is the dilemma we are in the material world. We are accustomed to satisfy our material desires. So to give them up and get a higher taste, like we heard, consciously work on them and see what am I ready to give up. How strong are my attachments? It's a gradual process, and it needs expert guidance actually, because these desires are very difficult to handle. They can directed properly, we can make progress. But if misdirected, it can ruin us. Yes, the mic over there.
Yeah, so I agree with the comment what Mother Jivana made, and also what you said now, because I think in our society we have some examples. They are natural tyagis, people who naturally give things up. They are, of course that comes from the past life somehow, but they can naturally, fasting, no problem for them. They can live without nothing. They're just like caves, cavemen in Himalaya, and they're completely peaceful with that. And for them, any material or any engagement in the world is a disturbance. Even going sometimes out on Harinam Sankirtan, for them that's a disturbance because because they renounced it. It's very, very natural for them. But for the most of us, and this is also, I think, our preaching, we have some desires. If somebody tells us next Friday is Nichal Ekadasi, most of us, oh no, But the Tyagi, he thinks, super, like, anyway, I don't need, to eat. So, but and because I think the majority of us is in between, because we think this tyag, this giving up, is the essence of it. But actually, to engage and cultivate these desires and slowly make them Krishna consciousness. You know, as we say, there's this example of yagya, what we do Saturday. Why I often think why we do this yagya, you know, is kind of not recommended for this age. But then I see how many devotees come together because of the yagya and come together and chant Hare Krishna. I think that's why the Lord keeps it, because it brings the devotees together. So, you know, to condemn the yagya would be foolish, because then there will be no need for the devotees to come together to perform the actual yagya. So step by step, we cultivate our desires, although they're material, but if we bring them together with Krishna, then they become like spirit, you know, then we develop this taste for spiritual desires.
Yeah.
But if we only think we have, you know, it's only about giving up the desires, then I think we miss out quite an opportunity, because many people, they come to Krishna. You know, why such things like this Indradyumna Swami tour in Poland is so successful, because all the senses are engaged, and you know, it's like a big, you know, and even amongst the sannyasis, I see many sannyasis, successful preachers, as we say. And yes, they are leaders, you know, but they are not necessarily so much tyagis. You know, you think they have all kind of different stuffs and they keep this, whatever, but, you know, they're successful preachers, without a doubt. You get my point?
I get your point. I think so. That many of us, we have so many desires. We want to see something fantastic, we want to experience, we want to see some extraordinary things. So we can be used to attract people, like you said about this yagya. To actually, so also prasadam, you know, it's also to attract people, so that we can get gradually purified. So Prabhupada said, don't, because we have so many desires and there's like zero. But if you put the one in front, Krishna, it becomes very good. So you don't have to give up desire, you just add Krishna. So what you described there is like a way to add Krishna. So that's the art. And that's the challenge for many devotees, how they can do this, fulfill their desires by adding Krishna. And that's the work. Therefore sadhana, our sadhana practice is very important. Rise early in the morning and have a good, you can say, spiritual practice there in the morning, so that we can add Krishna to our desires.
Yeah, but again, then, you know, we miss out a part of, I mean, sorry, I don't want to track this point, but again, there's so many people outside, for them would be completely impossible to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, and do this. Of course, this is our culture, this is our sadhana bhakti, but to attract people who can't do this, you know, so there has to be an opportunity for them as well. And if we only preach, or is this what we give out, to kind of give up everything, you know, give up sleep, come whatever, and do this, then for many people it's maybe just not, it's not possible, it's not attractive. But if we give the opportunity, you know, if we more like give them the opportunity, hey, here's your desire, here's what you want to see nice things, you want to see theater, you want to see shows, come to our show, you know, like this Poland show with Indradyumna. Look at spiritual theaters, you know, and get in this way, get the teachings of betterment of human society by looking at the pastimes of Ram, or, you know, something like that.
Absolutely. That's so that, that should be arranged. So, in the temples should be arranged attractive things that will attract the general public to come. A prasadam is already there. That's very attractive. but then also one can have more performance. I also saw in our temple, usually Gaur Purnima is like the biggest festival, but we had more visitors on Ram Navami because we put up a theater. So it was full. I think, as I understand, Prabhupada said this, that Krishna consciousness will spread through culture, and that, what is culture? That is like also dancing and all kinds of activities. So maybe that's the way to preach. I mean, we want sadhakas also, who join as proper brahmacharis and like that. But to attract the general people, it's all true, very true. I can see in our temple also in Norway, this is not what we're doing there on a general daily basis is not attractive to common people. It's too austere and it's simply just completely different, too different from their own life. Yeah, so good point.
I don't know if I want to make a point. It was more for my own clarification. Yeah. Thank you for this discussion. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mother Chivana as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's past 9 already, actually. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Antaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.